What is homelessness? Have you seen parents struggle to find a job without having transportation or childcare? What about the children sleeping in cars with nothing to eat? Families shouldn't have to struggle to survive, and children should not be homeless. Family Promise of Montgomery County serves the needs of homeless families and their children. Learn about ways you can help and learn about partnership opportunities at www.familypromiseofmc.org or call our day center at 936-441-8778.
Thank you for listening to Lone Star Community Radio. This program was broadcasted and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Lone Star Community Radio is supported by listeners like you. Donate and sponsor today. For more information on getting involved with Lone Star Community Radio, contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com or visit us online at www.irlonestar.com.
Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you so much for joining us on the Cindy Cochran Show. And it's finally gotten cold. Yes, yay! I'm so excited. I love it. In fact, they're saying we may get into freezing territory tonight. So, y'all better bundle up and get all the dogs in and all that stuff. It's gonna be fun. And listen, I've got to first of all, so I don't forget, thank our precious sponsor. I haven't talked to him in a long time. Chris.
You know, it's funny. I talked to him this morning through email.
You did not.
Well, it was through a donation. He sponsored up. He re-upped.
He re-upped?
He re-upped.
Hallelujah.
So there you go.
Oh, my goodness. Chris Wootton, you are so amazing. The Wootton Financial Group. They have been our sponsor for like 3 different...
Yeah, almost but over a year.
Over years,
yeah.
But they've re-upped 3 times. They love us.
You should sponsor the Cindy Cochran Show, folks. Just reach out to Lone Star Community Radio, and boom, there you go. Or you can just donate. There's a donate button right below on Facebook and YouTube.
We'll accept donations.
Thank you to Wootton Financial Group. That's actually what I was working on before you came in. I was going to do a special post to them saying thank you for re-upping.
Did you send something to him to remind him?
Well, yeah, because he's been trying to get some of the clips from the shows.
Oh, yeah.
And I've been... technical issues are always happening. So it's like, hey, I finally got it, just to let you know. And then I realized I looked at the calendar and I was like, hey, your sponsorship ends X on this date. If you're interested, here's a link to re-up. And then this morning I walked in and he re-upped. So
oh my goodness.
The sponsorship is in the bank. So
and the clips are so exciting because when
let me tell you a story about financial stuff. You know how I got a divorce and all that kind of stuff? And I told my dad, I think one of the main issues with that relationship was we never had a joint bank account. So money was always kind of a mystery to both of us because...
Who had what?
Well, not necessarily who paid, because who paid for what and what the actual amount was. And, there's always that kind of conversation going because I'm going to just say it. My ex was not very good with money. And I had a very big hesitation of, dealing with that. I was like, I don't want her to know how much money I got because she's gonna want me to start paying for stuff. And my dad sends me an article, and this is such a typical dad move. He sends me an article from the Wall Street Journal. He's like, I found this. I thought it'd be pretty interesting for you. And what it was an article all about how successful relationships start with a joint bank account. And I'm sitting there like, so you're telling me the marriage failed because we didn't have a joint bank account? Thanks, Dad. But that was really entertaining, and the article was pretty good. But then again, it got me thinking. I was like, maybe that was the building blocks towards the failure because I was like, I just didn't want to do that. That was something that we were working towards, but she had a lot of debt, and I didn't want to. And I know for a fact if I put my name on it, I'm going to be the one getting the phone calls.
That's right.
Because I was the only one that always answered the phone calls. I was the one who always paid the bills. And then I asked for reimbursement from her. If she didn't, she didn't. If she did, she did.
I feel like I'm at home talking to Sam.
Oh, yeah. No, I definitely have learned, and it was funny. I've been really interested in talking to people about relationships since I got a divorce, because it was just kind of one of those shock things in my life. I was like, oh, how bad of a person was I? Because I know I wasn't guilt free of the relationship, so I started talking to other people, and it's amazing how different ages and different experiences of those people have that opinion on the money thing. Because I've encountered a couple who I bowl with, and sometimes we get beers over at Foss. Shout out to Foss. I like Foss. And I was talking to him about it because I was like, what do you think about this? And he basically said, like, after his first divorce, he's like, my current wife is like, we have our own separate things. And we agree. And he actually gave me a good kind of math logic to it, because he knows how much she makes total because of the job, and he knows how much he makes, and he makes more. So what he did was he just took the percentage more he makes, and that's how much more he pays for the bills. So if he makes 70%, and she makes 40%, that kind of thing, or 30%.
Yeah.
So he'll pay 70% of the bills, and she'll pay 30% of the bills.
Well,
And that's just the way he kind of looks at it. And then this is also an older guy. This guy is already past the kids thing. So it's like they're already kind of set. It's either this or you're going to be alone for the rest of your life.
well, it is. You know how budgeting just knocks me out, and Sam goes,
Well,
Sam can't. There's no way. He says, "There's no way we can do a joint.
no.
Be on the account together."
I look
No
back.
way.
I look back. I still wouldn't have done it, just because I know the dependency on me handling certain things. Like we talked about, it's like she wouldn't even call my mother
Yeah.
because she would ask me to call her for her, and I'm like, well, why do I need to do that? And that gives you an idea of where the logic is, especially with money. Can you just pay for it? I'll pay you back. That's basically how that.
Right.
So I was like, this is too much for me.
Well, when we first got married, and I don't even think I had a checking account even at that time. I was just 19, but I was spending money like it was okay. You write this on the paper, and then you get what you want. It's so wonderful, and he'd go like, what the deal is, you've got to subtract what you spent. Just do that much. If you'll just put the number down, I'll subtract it later, but just put that down, and I'll forget. And then he says, do you know how much you paid for it? And I went, I don't remember how much I paid for it. And so he cut me off pretty quick. He said, you can get your own account, and that's what, whatever you're making. And at that time, this is terrible, I was making $13 a day at Channel 13 for interpreting the news for the deaf. And that was my job. And that's how much I made, was the $13. And that was like enough probably for gas. And Sam, might throw me a bone once in a while. I said, okay, here, you can have this much money, and then that's it. You're just going to have to keep up with it. But I just wasn't good with that at all. I liked it whenever I was on his checking account, and I could write, and it was always going to be there.
Well, I don't think it's the individual that's just bad with money. I think it's the lack of practice with it, because
I practiced a lot spending that money.
But I meant more of like, if someone else is taking care of it, you don't have to take care of it,
right?
And it's the easy way out.
I was totally.
I mean, that's what I've learned doing the station, because I do everything here. I do all the invoicing, the pledging, and the payouts, and
Speaking of that,
yeah.
Whenever you're ready.
Oh yeah, we'll take care. I mean, I already take care of you. I don't know. I do everything. See, I'm the one enabling you. If people don't know what we're talking about, we like to have receipts here at Lone Star for distributing, some of the sponsors to help pay for the show. So Cindy gets a residual for production and driving up here and stuff like that for all of our sponsors. So it's a fair deal.
Yeah.
But we require a receipt. And Cindy didn't know how to make receipts or invoices or anything like that. And I guarantee you, when the 1099 comes your way, you're going to lose your mind, because you probably didn't even plan for that. And you probably don't even know what I'm talking about. But
yes, I know what a 1099
But you are going to
is.
have a 1099.
Well, it's so easy, though, because it's just that one amount, and it's that one amount.
Yeah, but I mean, you're still got to pay taxes on it.
Yeah.
So
Well, yes. Now, Sam takes care of that part. He has to.
But you can't spend
figure all
100%
that.
of your money on it because you got to pay taxes on it.
Well, he'll
That's
find.
how a lot of people get in trouble when they
Right.
just take cash
But
and they're like, "Oh, I don't get $1,000 at the end of the year." It's like, no, you
but
get.
the amount that he makes or has that he's making just being retired, and what I'm making being retired
you'll
is
always
just,
figure it out. See, that's one thing I'll
It's-
probably never do, especially if I don't like the person. It's like I don't really want to do that.
But you are so sweet about doing that. That's really saved me too, because you get it in there, and it takes it a while. It takes it like 2-3 days for it to clear or something, and then it's there.
Yeah.
But I said
That's
no. He
technology.
said he already sent it in. I mean, it's sent in. He goes, well, we're not seeing it, and I went, did he lie to me? And they
Well,
said,
that's what I
"No, it
love
probably
about
takes."
That's what I love about technology, and like to me, that's the norm. You should be used to that because checks take a while to clear.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, it's going to take, and that's why I've always told everybody, and no one ever listens. But it's like, yeah, once you do the request, it's going to take up to 3 days, business days. People
Business
don't know
days,
what
yeah.
business days are.
True.
They conveniently forget.
Friday, Saturday, and Sundays.
And like, oh, I sent it on Friday night. Why isn't it there? I'm like, where do you think I'm doing right now on Friday? Like, I'm not a computer. That's my favorite. That's my favorite thing with everyone that's involved with my life. It's like, what do you think I'm doing right now?
No, you work so hard, and I really appreciate you. I do. I really do. And I've been gone all week.
Yeah, I was sick last week. That
yeah.
was crazy.
I'm telling you, he
we-
called. We had somebody scheduled. We were gonna.
Yeah, we had Chicken Max coming
Yeah.
tomorrow, but he was supposed to come last week.
Yeah, and I had to call him and tell him. I said, the engineer, the owner, Richard Schischler, he has food poisoning, and it wasn't from Chicken Max. So I was telling him how you love Chicken Max so much. So he's thinking you eat it every day, but I said no, it wasn't food poisoning from you. So he said, well, just let me
Well-
know when I can come back on.
Well, that's what I see. I don't think I've ever gotten food poisoning. Like, I just.
You'd have remembered it, yeah.
Yeah, and what was wild was it hit so fast. And then my favorite part of that story was I went bowling. I subbed for a team. They needed me. Like, it was like one of those things. Like, if I didn't show up, they would have been disqualified. So I was like, oh, I'll do it for you. And then by the third game, I started feeling so bad. And I told the team, I'm like, hey, I'm just letting you know, right when I throw that last ball, I'm just going to pack up my stuff and I'm out of
I'm
here.
gonna throw up. Yeah.
So I get in my car, and I live off 2854, and they're having a lot of road construction. And,
Oh.
of course, it's all at night. There were 3 different single-lane stops that needed a pilot car to drive you through. And after the second one, I was like, this is madness. This is crazy. I just want to get out of here. And I
Yes.
didn't. I made it home, but I didn't make it 2 steps out of my car.
And you threw up.
Oh, everything. I was just it was intense. But then the next day, I was not getting better, and I was like, "What the heck? Like, I'm hungry. I haven't eaten." And then
You were hungry?
oh yeah, because that's what I'm saying. Like, I never had food poisoning in my life. Like, I was just so tired because I threw up all the water. Like, every time I drink a water, like a cup of water,
Yes.
throw it
you
up.
can't keep-
And
oh,
then
yeah.
But then I talked to one of my buddies, and he was sick too. And his whole family was sick. And I was like, we hung out on Sunday.
What'd you eat?
What did we all share? Well, apparently when I went over there and we went to the queso showdown at Southern Star, when I first got there, they made homemade pepperoni rolls. They're having a family gathering when I got there. And I had one. We all shared that. And everyone, and I was like, from that one little pepperoni roll, I'm out for 2.5 days. Like, because what I love about the stigma of food poisoning is it's like I'm never eating there again.
Yeah.
And
You didn't have that feeling?
the only thing I had that day that I thought it was the bowling alley.
Oh.
And I was like, but I don't care about that stuff. I'll eat it again, whatever. But like kind of like you're talking about Chicken Max is like if people say it like it's the plague.
Yes.
It's like, oh, I had Chicken Max and it got food poison. It might not have been like the 10 cigarettes or whatever I had that day. It was Chicken Max. And I'm sitting there. I was just like, people are really, really judgmental about this
No,
stuff.
I will tell you,
Because everyone asks, where did you eat? Where did you eat? Like, where?
Yeah.
Not what.
Yeah.
Where did you eat?
Because they don't want to eat there.
Oh, yeah.
But I'll tell you one thing, is that my doctor said, Cindy, I'll tell you, you'll know you had food poisoning if whatever you've eaten in 15 minutes, you start throwing up or you have diarrhea.
Well, see,
that's
because
how
that's
you
not what
know.
happened.
I know, it was like the next day.
No, it was more than 24 hours.
See, that's
So
really
that's
weird,
what's so
'cause he
weird to
said-
me. And my buddy got sick on Tuesday. Because Monday night is when it really hit me. But like him, he's like, yeah, Tuesday afternoon is when it hit me. So it was either a stomach bug or something. I don't know what it was, but I never had it because I didn't feel sick. I just couldn't do anything. Like no matter what I did, it was so annoying.
Sure.
Because like when we had chicken stock, threw it up. You know, it's like, how do I get fluids in my system? Because I know I need water.
Right.
And it's like,
That's really scary.
so, yeah. And then,
But not out of sympathy, but out of them upping the strength of this new medicine that I'm taking. And I hate to say it because I hate to tell people, you know, they may think, well, I'll never use that medicine. But Trulicity, whenever she gave me the extra strength of it, it made me so sick. And
See,
that's why it was perfect timing for you
Yeah.
to get that, because I couldn't have.
well,
I
that's one
couldn't
thing.
have it.
Pharmaceutical drugs, that's just the Wild West to me, especially when I hear all my friends and family who are like prescribed blood pressure stuff.
Yeah.
Because in my mind, blood pressure is like an easy thing, you know, but then like when they start doing drugs, oh, this might work. If it doesn't work, 6 months later, we'll try something else. So it's
Right.
like, oh, we're going through a bodily roller coaster for the next year just to figure out where I can just control my blood pressure.
Right.
And that's people live that life. And that's why I do not, like, I don't even take Advil. I don't take any of that stuff.
Ooh,
And-
that's good. Ooh, that's good.
And it's probably because I'm a weirdo about it. Because the only drugs I want to take because I want to go on a roller coaster, and not an unwanted one.
That's perfect.
But yeah, no, that's a scary world to be in, especially as you get older and the way the world tries to treat older people. It's so scary, especially all the like if you watch Fox News.
Yeah.
I don't understand how you guys are sane people watching Fox News because the commercials are scary. And
Okay. See, this is what.
and Fox News is scary, and because they look fake. That's what's really scary to me.
No, they don't.
Oh yeah, you know how much production goes into that show, like the makeup and all that stuff.
And
It's
the-
kind of gross because it's over the top. Like it.
Well, okay, I'll give you this, but it's funny is because the guy who was the first owner or whatever he was of Fox News, he made all the women wear these real tight
Yeah, that's
short
it. That's.
dresses.
I mean, that's what I love about billionaires. It's like, hey, we can actually, if that's your thing, and you're like, yeah, my fetish is skirts. Let's have everyone woman wear skirts.
That's why he was having them dress,
Yeah.
just like prostitutes or something. And so
Well, no,
it was
I mean,
just it was sort of heavy
well,
makeup.
do you think
thick
there's
hair.
business attire for women?
Do I think there's business
Yeah,
attire?
because clearly a hoodie and a t-shirt doesn't count. So that's the Cindy Cochran way. Wootton Financial Group proudly sponsors hoodies and t-shirt host wear, but because I always and this is something that's always gone through like my girl, like when I had girlfriends or significant others, I always did not like them wearing clothes that were
Okay, I understand that, but
but people had different tastes of that though. Like what
Yeah.
what is considered inappropriate? And my ongoing joke was, you cover your wrists and your ankles. That was my ongoing joke with them.
just cover your wrists and your
Yeah,
ankles.
it's like, and I'll be okay with it.
Okay. Is
So
that
it's-
like with the wristband or
No, with
what?
clothing.
Oh, clothing. Oh, with
So
clothing.
like
Oh,
the only skin I want to be seeing, your wrists got to be covered and your ankles. It's like the old Mormons or something like that. But
Isn't that weird though that there was a time when a woman's ankle was like the sexy thing to
oh, I love it.
show the ankle. That's hilarious. As
But-
long as it's not a cankle. Cankle. That's so.
But there's probably a
gross.
drug to take care of your ankles too.
You think
but,
so? Probably.
But no, I think it's people's perspective, and like I think that's probably why they didn't really bat an eye when he's like, yeah, well, you got to wear a skirt because
Mm-hmm.
wearing pants that's a man's thing.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, what you find out is it was just like a fetish of things.
I was passing the president he was the general manager of Time Warner in the hall, one day, and he said, "Hey, Cindy, we have a dress code, right?" And I went, "You do?" And he says, "Yeah, you need to wear a dress and heels, and you've not read the book." And I went, "Wait a minute, you're telling me I've got to go out and do production, walking around all these different kind of environments I have to walk around in to do, and I have to wear the dress and heels?" I didn't say anything about the crazy tie you have on. So you can't judge me for wearing this. And he goes, "I'm telling you, we have that. Now, if you want to make a case for the fact that you have to, we have people that work on telephone poles and stuff like that, but we don't have, because you do production doesn't mean you should be able to wear pants." And that was just
yeah,
crazy.
but everyone was out to get you back in those days.
Well,
everyone was like, it was weird.
80s.
Yeah.
That was 80s.
80s still the same thing. I mean, we still have residuals of that old thinking today. I mean, think about when, what was it, Obama wore like a tan suit. People flipped. And like, oh, he rolled up his sleeves.
Yeah.
It's like, I love that kind of stuff. When people freak out about that kind of stuff, I love it. And then, because I'm just thinking to myself, like, there's so many funny stories about people freaking out about haircuts and everything like that.
Well, when I told you about the story when I started interpreting at this church, and it was in the 60s. No, I mean late 60s, late 60s, and I would get up and interpret, and they complained because I was wearing a pantsuit, and I said, why would you complain about that? Do you know how short the dresses are right now? And if I wore a short dress up there, y'all, okay, I'll do it. Y'all aren't going to like it, though.
Well, you're never going to win.
Well, that they...
With the world, you're never going to win.
But after I wore the first short dress up there and interpreting, standing on a platform...
They got it. They got it real fast.
They said, they came to us and said, we've talked about it again, and it's okay. You can go ahead and wear the pants suit. That's much more decent than what you look like up there. So it was, sometimes it's just the logic of the whole thing. It's just ridiculous.
The whole world's against you, no matter what you do.
That's it. Well, women were, oh man, I'm so glad you never had to be a woman during the 60s or 70s.
Well, see,
and trying to work somewhere else.
I don't think it that way. What I think of it is you got to make it work for you. Because to me, I bet there were some advantages of being a woman in the 60s, and a lot of people probably didn't want to do it, but there are certain things you can take advantage of depending on your sex and your age. Age is a big one.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like women today have so many options to do whatever they want with their lives, and they'll be hardly judged for it if you think about it. They might be judged by certain groups of people because that's why those people are groups.
Right.
But now you can kind of do whatever you want, and guys too. I mean, guys also have been able to do whatever they want because they didn't like it. They just beat it. They beat it up.
Well, it's, I guess, because I was born in 48, so it was like the 50s, and then I saw so many different changes, and in the 60s I was more aware because I was a teenager during that time, and then when I started trying to work, I realized.
But you also worked in a pretty unique field at the time for women.
Yeah. And it was all male dominated. So you have a woman in there, then they're the one that's going to be.
Well, like what I love, the Houston Chronicle released a questionnaire about like if you answer these 10 questions, you'll find out what manager of the Astros fits your personality, kind of thing. And like the 9th question was like talking about, would you like a woman to be a manager of the Astros? Because I do know there's a couple of women who are working in, like I think there might have been a bench coach or something like that. I really don't remember who she is. I know there's one woman particularly like is very high up in manager roles, and I'm thinking to myself, it's like they really asked this question? Because I wonder what the stats are on this. Because how many people said no?
I'd love to ask Angel that, Andrew's wife.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, it's one of those things, unfortunately, for the manager position, like, no one's ever going to win that one. I mean, think about Dusty Baker and the flack he got for half the stuff.
Right.
So if you're a woman, I can't even imagine in a male-dominated field. And all
Oh,
that
the
kind of stuff.
spitting and all the stuff that happens in that.
But
while
you know
they're
what?
waiting.
Speaking of baseball and women, I did hear a unique perspective about why there aren't females in baseball. And basically, this person's argument was they need to stop playing softball, and they need to start playing baseball.
Why?
Because at a young age, if a woman wants to play baseball, you know, majority of the time the family's like, no, you're going to play softball because girls play softball.
Mm-hmm.
There's not really a lot of families out there that say, no, you can play baseball.
That
Does that make sense to you?
no, no. I mean, I
Because there's nothing stopping little league people and like all the way to high school from women playing baseball. There's not a rule that says women cannot play baseball.
But they play baseball. They have their tournaments and
But they play softball.
right.
So, I mean, the main reason is the developmental age of young adults is being treated for something that's not as important in the sense of baseball. So if I'm teaching you how to play softball, it's wildly different from baseball. So if you all of a sudden want to be a pro in baseball, but you've been playing softball your whole life, you might not be as good as most people who have been playing baseball their whole life.
Right.
So he's saying that the girls need to play baseball. They don't need to be playing softball.
In case they want to
Play
evolve to
That's
play.
why there's not a lot of females involved with
Yeah.
baseball.
Yeah. Well,
But then again, I don't really care.
I don't care. That's coming out of my mouth. I don't care.
But it's just funny because people were like, "Oh, why aren't like the first woman manager in baseball?" Like it was literally a question on this questionnaire, and I'm like, "Why are they asking this? Like, is there some woman that they're thinking about getting?" Because I looked it up. I was like, "Who is this?" And I couldn't find like who they were considering because
man.
there's like a consideration list that the Houston Astros
well,
are doing
I was so
specifically, not like
this
across
is
baseball.
terrible because I was so thankful that Dusty said, "Okay, I'm done." I was so thankful because I yelled at him.
Well, then they
so
re-signed
many times.
Maldonado.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they
No,
did.
they didn't. I mean, Maldonado came between Sam and I because we were bonding and having so much fun watching all
see.
the Astro games. But every time Maldonado come up, I'd try badmouth him so bad, and then and Sam would take up for him, and I thought this is ridiculous. I'm going to watch this by myself in my room so I can badmouth everybody. And I would yell at Dusty and yell at everybody. And whenever I found out that Dusty was gone, I thought Maldonado for sure would go. Because if he was so good with all the players and they respected and loved him and all that, then he should put him in a coaching position maybe instead of letting him come up every time and strike out. Don't get me started.
They didn't re-sign him.
They didn't?
I don't think so. The last report is the 24th, and they say they're still trying to figure out what they're doing with them. But maybe I missed it. I don't know.
That would be really good to find out.
Well, it's easy to blame them.
I know Brianna's probably yelling at me right now, but because I felt like he was wrong. I mean, it was just wrong to keep bringing him in, and I couldn't stand the way that he would. You could tell he was asking the pitcher. Of course, I think we ought to do the outside ball, and so the pitcher would throw it, and it would be a ball because the batter was smarter than Maldonado was, and he'd just stand there and let it come by, and there they were. Then he'd have to walk the guy. And I would get really upset because I thought he was not at least coaching or suggesting to the pitcher the right pitches. Just let the pitcher pitch. That's what his job is.
You never know.
It's not the catcher's job to tell him how to pitch. I know that they look at the batters. And what I couldn't understand is Maldonado sits there and looks at all these batters, goes through all this stuff, and he still can't. He can't hit
tries.
the ball.
He's trying.
Don't be sweet like
I don't. Baseball is one of those wild sports. You just never know. So I mean, he's hit a couple home runs, so you never know. But I mean, the odds are against him, certainly.
So
and there were certain time periods during the season where it's like you actually had this proven catcher. Why not play him? and it's one of those things. But you never know. At the end of the day, there's probably personal conversations happening on the team, and that's just that's what management is. Maybe the pitchers like Maldonado. You never know. I mean,
No, I think that's what they say. That he has.
I'm
such
just saying
a
you
good,
never know because those pitchers are pretty. That relationship between a catcher and a pitcher is pretty serious, especially when it comes to game
True.
time. So it's
They have
like
to have a trust. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. We'll put him in as a coach for the pitchers, and then put somebody
No,
in there that can bat.
You'll never know. They'll probably put him as a backup. They'll probably let Diaz be the starting catcher this season because a lot of our pitchers really are transitioning out because we have a lot of new pitchers coming in this year.
Right, they've called up from the
Yeah.
But
Enough Astros talk. It's boring.
It's boring.
It's
You
boring.
think it's boring?
No, it's just.
Are you?
I mean the Rangers. The Rangers. It's like shout out to Andrew. I hate you. But
He what?
Andrew's a Rangers fan. My buddy Andrew.
You're kidding.
No.
Andrew.
Yeah,
That's what's bad. They're
That's
both
one
Texas.
thing. That's one thing I need to talk to Andrew about because he's from the Dallas-Fort Worth area,
Yeah.
and I always laugh when certain giant cities have like this ownership of a huge plot. Because, like, for example, a lot of people are like, "Oh, I live in Houston," but really they live in like Spring or they live in like League City or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And when people say Dallas-Fort Worth, I'm like, "Isn't that two towns?" Like, but you call it Dallas-Fort Worth. What does that mean? And then I know there's a lot of areas around Dallas
Right.
that say they're in Dallas, but it's like, no, you're in a completely different town. But like Houston, to me, Houston proper is always the 610 loop, and then that everything outside that is like, it could be completely different.
Well, it's always been really funny about the competitiveness of Houston, Dallas, and then of all growing up, feeling like Dallas thought they were so much better than we were all the time, and when I got older and I'd go through Dallas and how
My favorite
bad
was
they were.
my favorite was
driving.
I can't remember the direct quote. Is some Rangers fan was on TV and he basically made the comment of how every time they flush it goes down to Houston, and it was pretty funny. I was like, that's pretty good.
Oh,
But yeah, no, rivalries are great. I think what I love is when the fan takes it to the next level of like just hatred for another team that they don't even play on. Like it's just like, oh, I really like the Astros, so screw everybody else. You know,
I'm just so glad they haven't, said it's a hate speech or a hate group, because what you say about another team or city.
well, I bet that happens in the UK all the time. They
You
have
think?
laws against that,
They're very competitive.
but they have hooligans that don't care. They probably just don't use Twitter. So
Well, but I don't, the sport though it's got so boring as soon as they were out. Sam's still watching the World Series, but I'll just check in, just see if the Rangers are losing.
Yeah. It's weird. I wonder what the viewership is since technology has changed our attention so drastically. Like everything's at my fingertips. So if the game's on, I might watch it, but also am watching this really cool TV show on Hulu. So I'd rather.
And I can find out later.
Yeah, and I wonder how it's changed because I know this is probably the lowest rated World Series ever.
Have to be.
Yeah.
Because the the Rangers aren't a sexy team.
No, I don't think. I think that might be part of it, but it's like technology. It's like, well, now I have to watch it on Fox Sports, and I don't have cable, and I can't
I mean, if they
stream
hadn't
it.
been the Astros, I wouldn't even known that the World Series was playing. I wouldn't even known because I wouldn't have paid any attention to it. But because I knew the Astros lost,
I mean,
their
but
trip.
see, you don't even know the Houston Dynamo are in the playoffs.
The Houston, no, never.
Yeah, they're in the playoffs right now. They're winning. They won the first game.
That's what you like, right?
Well, I like all sports. Sports are fun.
Yeah, but I mean, you are a real Dynamo.
I mean,
fan.
when I lived in Houston, I'd go to games. I went to Houston Aeros games. I went to basketball games. I went to Texans games. I just like going. It's fun. But like now that I've moved up here, I have no desire to drive all the way down there and spend half my day doing that.
Oh yeah, of course. And trying the parking and all. It was funny because going to the Astrodome was such a big deal and was so amazing, and you felt like you.
Oh,
Like it wasn't that
we
big.
have people. Dennis says hi, and he talked about the League of Their Own when we're talking about the baseball, why women.
Oh yeah.
And then Andrew said that people from Fort Worth don't say they're from Dallas, but the other way around, people from Dallas say Dallas Fort Worth. I don't really. That's what I'm saying. I don't know that world at all, and it's just one of those funny things, especially in Houston, how nitpicky are people about like they live in Katy, but they say Houston, but Katy is like so far away.
Oh
And
yeah.
then like Spring is really far away. And I remember when I lived in Spring, I said Spring. I didn't say Houston. But what the weird thing is I went to school in Houston because that was on the address. But it was 1960.
Okay, yeah.
So that's what I was like, this is wild. Like why would I tell people I go to school in Houston? It's like down the road for me, and then we're in
Right.
Spring. But
Right. Well, that's
like I didn't realize how small Montgomery was. Did you know how small Montgomery, the
No.
city of Montgomery is? They only have like 3,000, 4,000 people there.
in Montgomery,
Texas.
Texas.
Yeah, we had the
The
mayor
city?
on. I want to say a couple months ago.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm always interested. Like the real power to cities is who they tax,
Mm-hmm.
and Conroe has a huge tax base because they'd swallow up all these little areas. And
I know they're looking.
Yeah, and I remember talking to him, and I asked him. I was like, "So what's going on with?" Because Conroe's continuously like creeping over to Montgomery. And he was saying, yeah, we can't go east anymore. We have to go west if we're going to annex anything.
They have to go west,
Yeah.
but they're coming. They're coming
But they like-
north for Willis.
I don't doubt it. Will suck. No, I'm just kidding.
Shut
I
up.
love Willis.
They better not. No, I don't want them to do that because that's what we were afraid of. That Houston was going to incorporate the Woodlands when I lived there. There was like everybody was so afraid that.
Yeah, the current population of Montgomery, Texas, 2,321. That's from 2021.
That is
Yeah, it blew
amazing.
my mind because I was like, there's so many people that live here. But then everyone that lives there apparently lives in Conroe proper.
That's interesting because I like.
Well, like, remember when COVID went down, and like I remember having conversations with the Woodland Township people, and they were saying it was really hard because the line, the Harris County and Montgomery County line,
Yes.
is kind of like all over the place.
Yes.
So some of the parks they had were in Harris County, and then like some of the recreational things, and so like they had to have two separate rules. Because Montgomery County is like, yeah, just do whatever you want. And then Harris
Yeah.
County is like, you got to wear a mask, only 10 people at the park.
That's
All this kind of stuff. And they were like, yeah, we had to do like two different flyers. And people were confused because like you go to this park, but then you go to this park and you get busted. And then, but yeah, I mean, that's just the way it works. But
Well, that's funny because you call if you call the information, it's always so hard to try and get.
well, that's why we should just lie to
phone
everybody and
number
just go
in
for
Woodlands because they go, we don't have the Woodlands,
Yeah.
Where else could your party be? And I went, could you try Spring? I went, okay, yeah, I've got that.
Well, that's one thing I love about the Woodlands. They can always pass off responsibility for majority of their things, of their services and everything. Well, technically, we aren't doing that. Like, you got to call this fire department.
Well, Andrew, hello, Andrew. I'm glad you reached
And
out.
Dennis.
And Dennis. I'm
We're on
getting
Facebook
ready
and
to
YouTube,
Dennis.
Lone Star Community Radio.
Dennis, and there's Joe Kennedy, and there's Chad checks in. He says, I check in just to see if you're there, if you're okay. And
Yeah, me
Awesome.
too. That's the only way I know you're alive. If you're,
I mean,
or if I want to talk to you, I just know I need to go to the bowling alley first, and then you'll call me no matter what.
that's all right. And just get ready to make that one. No, I did really well. Didn't I stay away? I told you. I said, I'm
Yeah,
not going to
but-
call and bother you anymore because I
Yeah.
know it's awful to be sick
I was
like
I
that.
was seriously thinking about doing that over the summer. Of like, I should just get rid of my phone and see what happens with my life. Just do everything on my computer. Just do everything.
Oh, that would be terrible.
I think it'd be great.
No. But I think that if we didn't have the Ask Me Anything thing, you've been really good about getting people. I know it's because of the app you created for the show, but I just can't, I have not been able to get out and talk to people. I had that one run that one day. I got like 10
Yeah.
people going like, yeah.
It's hard. I mean, people, especially
it's
there's a lot of
difficult.
cool businesses going on. I'm excited about having Chicken Max because it's still fast food, but fast food's changed so much in the past 10 years where it's like it's not fast food anymore.
Especially the price.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's like you still got to wait. Like, my favorite is Whataburger because either they called this 10 years ago and they created the double lanes and all that kind of stuff because it's like, oh, we know we're not going to be able to keep up with orders and cooking like quality food. But I mean, like now it's like when you go to a place that has double lines, you're like, okay, it's one of those places. Like, why this isn't fast food? Like,
well, Chick-fil-A and all those people, and they put their people out in
but
the
Chick-fil-A
lanes.
is pretty fast
They put their people out
because their
in
menu
the
is
lanes
not
into it.
complicated.
No,
It's really not. Like, it's
no.
like 4 basic things, and then they chop them up and put them in different things.
That's true.
So it's like it really
you're
is
right.
not that complicated.
But I'll tell you, they've got Chicken Max has the best coleslaw. Oh my word!
Well, no,
Coleslaw is-
everyone I know who has gone there, what they like is the options of the chicken sandwiches. Like, it's not just a chicken sandwich; there's different styles of chicken sandwiches.
Right.
And I think that's kind of a positive because it's called Chicken Max, so you know it's going to be all chicken based. But like Chick-fil-A, they have no variety. It's like we just give you this sandwich,
Yeah, but they
or do you want it spicy,
right. But they have.
or do you? My favorite is they charge you $2 for cheese. It's like, oh, you want the deluxe? What's
Oh,
the
you want-
deluxe? Oh, it's just tomatoes, lettuce, and cheese. It's an extra $2.50.
Can I get mayonnaise on that? Oh, you want mayonnaise? That's going to be about $5 more. Yeah, no problem. We got you covered. Anyway, okay. So I was wondering. I need to first of all say happy birthday to Cindy, little Cindy, my granddaughter. Yeah, she's 17 years old today. 17. Oh my word! And girls are so much harder to raise than boys. They're so much more
You
complicated.
just lack discipline.
Huh? What?
They lack discipline.
No, they're just more complicated. She is the sweetest, most compassionate. She just wants everybody to be happy, and she wants all these, everybody to get along and no arguing, and so and then Samuel and I just butt heads constantly. His mother told him when he was going to be on the show, she kept telling him all the way out the door, "Be nice. Don't say anything bad about Grandma. Don't argue with Grandma on the radio." Okay, fine. But anyway, Samuel's sick, so I got to take him to the Memorial Hermann urgent care that's in Willis, Texas. They are phenomenal. I got to give them a shout out without them even being a sponsor or anything. They are incredible. And so, but Cindy, I wanted to do something nice, like after I pick her up from school, but I've got to go get Samuel and take him to the urgent care. But she's great. So
That's a great story.
I thought you'd enjoy
What else?
that.
Are you using the restroom today?
Have I?
What else are you doing today? I'm just.
Did I say anything?
Did you have a good Halloween? Or did you even do anything?
Nope. Because
Because I worked, so I didn't get to go to any of the parties, and
no, I didn't do anything.
which is odd to me. Why did they have parties on Halloween Day?
Well, Cindy had a party on Sunday for her birthday, which is today, and she wanted to get it out of the way so
Yeah.
kids could come to it. And she didn't want to upset anybody's going out to trick or treat because they still go out and trick or treat anyway. So
Yeah.
she has the party, and I told Sam, I said, we've got to go to the show or go do something. We got to be out of here because Samantha, their mom, was going to oversee it. And these kids were so good. They didn't do anything crazy or anything weird or anything like that. They all came dressed in, in costumes and stuff. But and she decorated. It was very cool looking. But they sat around and they played video games, and they went out and rode on the golf cart. I mean, it was just weird. And then there's a card game going around, and I've got to show you. It is so nasty. This is so bad, and kids love this card game, and so we have to watch over what card games they bring. The kids from outside will bring cards in and go like, no, y'all can't play that game. Have you heard about this card game? It asks questions. It's
There's a lot of
it's
games that are
nasty.
inappropriate. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, but they sell them to these kids. All
Oh,
know
my
about it. And,
Yeah, that's why they
have
like it.
I know it, but it's like
Nothing wrong with a good poop joke.
I wish it was just that. I wish that was
Oh, yeah,
that's
there's-
all it was.
There's Cards Against Humanity. That's been around for a while, but that's a lot of fun because it's you create the jokes with the cards.
You do?
Yeah, because so what it is I don't know the exact description, but there was like one card in the middle, and in that card in the middle is a white card, or a black card, and it's either like a name, like a noun or whatever, and then everyone gets like a opposite color card, 5 of them, and it's like a description. So you try to match what Hillary Clinton, and like you might get a card that says like, a clown. And so you put it up, put it down, put it in the middle, and and then one person in the circle is the one who gets to judge who had the best one, but they don't know which one they picked.
Mm-hmm.
So you read it out loud, you read the statement, and then you follow with the person's answer. But they can get really raunchy and get really funny.
Well,
Like
this is just blatantly.
I remember one was like about Sandusky. I got one with Sandusky, and that's the guy. I believe he was he was one of the coaches on the Penn State that got caught molesting all those kids, and so
Oh yeah.
so that was one of the cards, and I think I had one that was like the new Goonies or something like that, and it was really funny.
This is back in the 80s.
Well, it's about like the new cast for the Goonies, and,
Oh.
and he'd be in it.
Oh, and who would be in it?
Yeah, and he would be in
Oh,
it.
have you seen? Do you watch Reels? Very much.
What are you talking
Reels?
about?
You know,
It's like a TV show?
no, the Reels on Facebook.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
Jesus.
Okay.
Yeah, I've seen them, yeah.
Okay.
They're dangerous because you click on one, and all of a sudden you got 1,000 of the same ones.
True, but this one. They have all these stars, and it's on one body, and they change faces, and they're doing all these different things. Have you seen?
Okay.
It's amazing. It's scary how smooth that is. It really.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like that's.
Imagine if you have
person.
Alzheimer's or whatever it's pronounced today.
Mhm.
Like, it'd be the scariest thing ever because you wouldn't know what the truth is of anything. If you think about it, like,
No, my poor father-in-law.
That'd be-
He's like 100 years old, and he's watching baseball. And you know how they do the replays,
Yeah.
and they go like, "Oh, good, he got another home run." I said, "No, they're just replaying it." Why do they do that? That's confusing. I don't know what if I'm should be happy or not. I said, "I know, it's stupid, but that's what they do. They replay it, so you gotta be careful." She's so cute. He's so cute. But anyway, the reels are just I love them, except they do that cliffhanger thing. They used to play the whole video of somebody singing or somebody whatever, and something happens, and like this tiger's about to jump on something, and they stop it. I hate that. I mean, I don't know who to call. You know, until
we'll just get off of it and go read a book or something. that won't interrupt you.
No, I know, but that is stupid. But it was always like we would say, "Oh, let's call the manager," and we have no idea who to call, or there's no resource. I mean, no recourse, whatever that is. Anyway, why are you looking at me like that?
Nothing. We got a couple more minutes. So
Oh, okay. So let's.
We got tomorrow with Chicken Max.
Yes.
Aaron Johnson, right? Is that how you pronounce it?
No. Arthur Johnson.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I just do what you tell me to do, and then I get an email a little afterwards.
Wait, but I
misspelled it.
I
don't
gave
know.
you the wrong.
I know. I've already gone through it, and I'm just like, I don't care anymore.
Wait a minute.
No, that's
Now you're making me second guess. What's his first name is?
what?
Aaron Johnson, not Arthur. It's Aaron Johnson.
That's what I said the first time.
Okay,
But Chicken
well,
Max, who cares? He's coming in. Chicken Max and Willis. It's gonna be great. And then
I hope he
we want to
brings.
thank you to
brings you
Wootton
food.
Financial Group for re-upping for the next 6 months,
Yay!
keeping the station
Yay,
going.
Yay!
That's
I'm
a
so
wonderful thing.
excited.
If you want to donate or sponsor or be a guest on the Sydney Cochran Show, reach out to us. There is an email, I think, on the description.
Yes.
Uh,
Really, someone interesting in your life, someone that has a book out, or someone that is a great athlete.
I want people on here on your show that confuse you. That's what I want. I want you to just kind of look at me and be like, they're doing meat? People are drinking meat?
Okay, sometimes I make mistakes.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite. That's one of my favorite episodes. For half the episode, you thought they were saying meat the whole time. They're talking about meat.
And if you go back and play that episode and you listen to it, you look at it and you know that I'm thinking the whole time they're saying meat, and every time they say, and it's not that kind of meat.
Blueberry meat.
Yeah, it's
honey meat.
and then we went to that, and then we went over to watch her sing. At that place. At the firm.
I was trying to get you a drink, and you wouldn't drink it.
You know.
I was like, it's apple juice. It's apple juice. Drink it. It's good for you.
But I'm not drinking meat, right? Okay, that's good.
I would never do that to you. I know you don't drink alcohol. That'd be the meanest thing. Some guy did that to me with a vape pen. It wasn't tobacco or it wasn't nicotine. It was marijuana. And I was like, that's not cool, dude.
Is that when you blew up and you got...
Yeah. That was one of the times, yeah.
Oh, man.
Because I was like, he's like, you want to try my vape? I'm like, yeah, sure. And then it wasn't like the normal kid vape. It was the adult vape.
He's allergic to any of that stuff.
Yeah.
It's just not, it's not good for him. Your body's trying to tell you, stop it. It's like when the first time people smoke a cigarette, they start coughing, and they're coughing, and the body's trying to say, please don't do that again. That's just not right. We don't need that in us.
Not right.
That's what the body, it tries to tell you the right thing to do. But you know what we love our first responders.
Yeah.
And all the guys right now that are the policemen, the firemen, and the Coast Guard, the military, Army, Navy.
Not doctors,
everybody.
though. We do not like doctors on the
No,
Sydney
doctors
They're terrible.
are very important as first responders.
They're the biggest liars of them all.
Teacher, what are you talking about? We're going to get calls.
And we don't like Israel, right?
Richard.
Or is it Palestine? Which one do we not like? Or is it Hamas?
Hamas.
We don't like them. We don't like
We don't
Israel.
like Hamas.
We don't. What else do we don't
Hezbollah.
like? We don't like Dallas Fort Worth.
We don't like Dallas
We
Fort
don't.
Worth. We're not opinionated.
I love it.
No, but we love the first responders because they're so amazing, and we just pray for the military. Okay, all right. Love you. Bye.
Every week, people ask the same two questions. Are they ready to retire? Will their savings last for their lifetimes? Hi, this is Chris Wootton with Wootton Financial Group. Our firm has been in Montgomery County for decades, but the hopes and dreams of the people we serve never change. We help answer these two questions and many more that people have about their uncertain financial future. We have a simple introductory client experience that allows us to get to know the client and includes a few meetings for the client to kick the tires at no charge. We provide a concise, one-page summary that helps the client get a better handle on which questions are the right questions for them. To learn more about Wootton Financial Group's process of helping their clients to a clearer financial future and to see their contact information, visit Cindy Cochran's show page on irlonestar.com/TCCS. Wootton Financial Group is a proud sponsor of the Cindy Cochran Show. Wootton Financial Group is available by phone at 936-449-5952 or visit them on the web at www.woottonfinancial.com. That's www.woottonfinancial.com.
This program is sponsored by the Wootton Financial Group. It is not the intent of Wootton Financial Group to render or offer personalized investment advice or financial planning advice through this radio program or any related website. Wootton Financial Group's participation in this program is limited to providing general information on financial matters and should not be construed as financial recommendation or investment advice. Investment advisory services are offered through Game Plan Advisors, Inc., a registered investment advisor registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission and the state of Texas. Insurance services are offered through Wootton Financial Group, Inc. Game Plan Advisors and Wootton Financial Group, Inc. are affiliated through common ownership, and neither firm is affiliated with The Cindy Cochran Show. No listener should assume that any information presented and or made available on this program serves as the receipt of or a substitute for personalized individual advice from Game Plan Advisors, Wootton Financial Group, or any of their